Welcome to The Explainer, where today we're digging into the huge crossroads FC Barcelona finds itself at. We're talking a major injury blow, some really tricky transfer decisions, and, believe it or not, a little bit of good news that could change the course of their whole season.
All right, here's what we've got on deck. We're going to start with a tough situation around Raphinha, then look at a massive test for Rashford. After that, we'll dive into the team's transfer plans for their attack, and we'll wrap things up with some good news from the backline. Okay, let's jump right in with the tough stuff. I'm talking about the winger Raphinha, whose season has just taken a really sharp and pretty difficult turn. I mean, just try to imagine the emotional whiplash here. 1 minute, people are throwing your name around in the Ballon d'Or conversation. You're at the absolute top of your game. And the next, you're stuck in this awful, demoralizing loop of getting injured, fighting your way back, and then getting injured again.
Yeah, this is so much more than just a physical thing. It's a huge mental hit, especially for a guy whose entire game is built on high intensity and leaving it all out there. You know, the fact that the club actually sent him all the way to Brazil to recover, that tells you just how seriously they're taking his mental well-being. And the timing, it's just brutal. He's out for at least a month, right when the biggest games of the season are about to kick off. So with Raphinha on the sidelines, the spotlight suddenly swings, and it lands directly on Marcus Rashford for what is basically a make-or-break 1-month test of his future at the club. But here's the key thing to understand. The club isn't asking him to be Raphinha. They're not looking for a clone. They just need him to step up, be himself, and be decisive when it counts. So what does that actually mean in practice? Well, think of this as a high-stakes audition. For the next month, Rashford's going to get his chance in the big games. If he can pop up with a couple of important goals, make some game-changing plays, he might just convince the club he's worth that $30 million fee. The ball is completely in his court now. And Rashford's whole situation plugs right into the club's bigger transfer strategy. So let's take a look at who they're trying to bring in and who's probably heading for the exit. This is a classic tale of two strikers. On one side, you have the dream signing, Julián Álvarez. But let's be real, trying to buy him from a direct rival like Atletico Madrid, it's a massive, almost impossible task. Then on the other side, you've got the practical reality, Ferran Torres. It just feels like he's hit his ceiling at the club, and he's not happy as a sub. So a summer move just makes a lot of sense for everybody. Now, if that wasn't complicated enough, let's add another really interesting layer to all this. The whole situation with Manchester City's Bernardo Silva. And here's the fundamental problem, right? It's a total mismatch. Bernardo Silva, by all accounts, wants to come to Barcelona. It's his first choice. But the club, they just don't see his position as something they need to strengthen right now. And when you look at this comparison, you see exactly why. Silva is this technical wizard, just perfect for a slow, tiki-taka, possession-based game. But the new coach wants high pace, direct pressing, aggressive one-on-one wingers. It honestly feels a lot like the Griezmann situation all over again. A world-class player, no doubt, but maybe arriving a few years too late. He might just be the absolute right player at the completely wrong time. Okay, but it's not all transfer dilemmas and injury woes. The recent international break actually brought some really good news, a massive and much-needed boost for the squad. It really is a story of balance, isn't it? It's like a seesaw. Just as the team loses a vital piece in attack, the other end of the scale has tipped right back in their favor with some key defenders coming back. And we're not talking about just anyone. We've got Balde, Koundé, and Eric Garcia all back in full training, and the timing couldn't be better. The big goal is to have them ready for that huge match against Atletico Madrid. This gives the coach so much more depth and options right when things get tough. So when you step back and look at the big picture, the balance sheet is actually positive. Look, losing Raphinha is a massive blow. Let's not pretend it isn't. But in the trade-off, the club got 3 key defenders back, with Frenkie de Jong still on the way. At the end of the day, that's a net positive in terms of healthy bodies. And all of this leaves us with the one massive question that's going to define the rest of their season. The defense is stronger, but can they find that creative spark up front without their star winger? Finding that balance, well, that's everything now. Thanks for digging into this with us.